Well, guys, I just got done watching multiple videos of Democrats in Congress trying to justify why we don't need to have voter ID in this country. And they were talking about all the people didn't have IDs, didn't have access to IDs, who couldn't afford to get IDs to vote, who this, that, something else, all kinds of excuses as to why we don't need to have an ID requirement to vote here in the United States. How that it's racist, how that it's xenophobic and homophobic and transphobic and all kinds of phobics. And we all know why they're doing this for. The Republicans are trying to get a bill through to require voter ID in the United States, and the Democrats are fighting that because they want all these illegals to be able to vote. Because that's the way they're going to rig the election. That's their plan. But that got me to thinking about all the illegals that's over here. I think about this a lot because there's been tens of millions that's crossed the border. But I got to thinking about just how many criminals has crossed the border. I've been seeing more and more videos and news reports of illegals committing murder, committing rape, kidnapping children, and things like that. So I got to thinking, how many criminals approximately has come across the border? And the truth of the matter is, no one knows exactly because they can't vet tens of millions of people that quickly, and a lot of these people may have done crimes, violent crimes, in whatever country they came from, and wasn't caught and come across the border to escape justice and things like that. But I went online to do some research, try to figure out, some estimate of criminal activity from illegals coming across the border, illegally obviously, because they're already committing crimes coming across the border. But I'm talking about violent crimes. And I came up with this article here from ice.gov. I had to dig really deep because they're trying to hide this information. If you go into mainstream media, I saw a whole bunch of articles saying that American citizens, you and I, are more likely to commit criminal activities in the United States than illegals are. Illegals are law-abiding citizens despite the fact they broke the law in the first place by coming to the country illegally. But they will tell you in all the mainstream media reports, all the fact checks and things like that, that the American people, the American-born citizens, are more likely to commit crimes in the United States than illegals are. Illegals are here because they are just innocent. They're just trying to get a better life, trying to get a job, want to be United States citizens, and want to pay taxes and want to work and just prosper here in the United States. And they couldn't be, I'm sure there's a few that are, but a lot of the criminals coming across the southern border. This article here, after a lot of digging, I found this. This is ice.gov, and this was published on February the 1st, 2024, Washington, D.C. And in fiscal year 2023, ERO arrested 73,822 non-citizens with criminal histories. This group had 290,178 associated charges and convictions with an average of 4 per individual. These included 33,209 assaults, 4,309 sex and sexual assaults, 7,520 weapons offenses, 1,713 charges or convictions for homicide, and 1,655 kidnapping offenses. And those are just the ones that were caught at the border. It is amazing. 73,822 arrested, and multiple crimes each. But out of that, if they caught that many, you can imagine that the ones that are still out of tens of millions in this country. And like I said, it's difficult to find information about this. So I went online, trying to find information about the criminal activity. And this here is some more things I printed off here. This is from CNN, Communist News Network, Clown News Network, from CNN, July 11th, 2024. The Biden administration will designate a dangerous Venezuelan gang infiltrating the United States as a significant transnational criminal organization on Thursday, according to senior administration official who described the gang as an emerging threat. Trendiagla, I probably butchered that name. That's the name of the gang. A transnational criminal gang that originated in Venezuela prison has slowly made its way south and north in recent years, is raising alarm among U.S. officials. Trendiaglo adapted its name between 2013 and 2015, but has begun operations years before, according to the report by Transparency Venezuela. For several years, the criminal group has terrorized South American countries including Venezuela, Bolivia, Colombia, Chile, and Peru, and has gradually made its way into the United States. It's wide open. The border's wide open. So you know they would. But it says they have, for several years, the criminal group has terrorized South American countries, including Venezuela, Bolivia, Colombia, Chile, and Peru, and has gradually made its way into the United States. Of course they have. And this is from a press release from Congressman Troy E. Nails, however pronounced. This is from September 23rd, 2022, so a couple of years ago. Today, Congressman Troy E. Nails, Republican, Texas, District 22, along with 13 others, sent a letter to U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas regarding the recent report received by the Border Patrol that instructs agents to look for violent criminals from Venezuela entering the United States. It has been widely reported that the Venezuela regime, under the control of Maduro, is deliberately releasing violent prisoners early, including inmates convicted of murder, rape, and extortion, and pushing them to join caravans heading to the United States. Some of the released prisoners have already been spotted within migrant caravans. So the violent criminals, they're not wanting to keep those people alive. They want to keep those people in prison. So releasing them early with the stipulation that they come to the United States, no doubt with, the help of what's left of the Venezuelan government. I looked at this and tried to fact check this, and of course a lot of the mainstream media and fact checkers are disputing this claim, but it had here that the Border Patrol have received instructions to look for these people on the border. So again, it is fact, even though they're trying to deny that it is. And this next headline is from the Heritage Foundation, June 20th, 2023. Increased illegal immigration brings increased crime. Almost 2/3 of federal arrests involve non-citizens. Again, from the Heritage Foundation, 2023. Increased illegal immigration brings increased crime. Almost 2/3 of federal arrests involved non-citizens. This is from Fox News, July 7, 2022. Crimes committed by illegal immigrants surged in 2021 after declining in previous years. So what happened in 2021? Joe Biden. Let's read that again. Crimes committed by illegal immigrants surged in 2021 after declining in previous years. What happened in previous years? The border was pretty much closed down when Donald Trump was in office. But as soon as Joe Biden took office, they surged the border and crime went up. The number of crimes committed by illegal immigrants in the United States surged in fiscal year 2021 after declining in the years before that. Homicides, assaults, incidents of domestic violence, illegal weapons possessions, and sexual offenses committed by illegal aliens all increased dramatically in fiscal year 2021 compared to fiscal year 2020. Data from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection shows illegal immigrants committed, and this, like I said, this is right when the surge started in 2021-22. Illegal immigrants committed 1,178 assault and domestic violence and domestic. I can't talk today. Illegal immigrants committed 1,178 assault and domestic violence crimes in 2021, which represents a more than 400% increase from the 208 in 2020. 60 homicide or manslaughter convictions were attributed to illegal immigrants in 2021, a 190% increase from the previous year. So you can see by the article there, as soon as Joe Biden took office, crime went straight up as far as crimes committed by illegals, and a lot of violent crime. Now, the media will tell you that we need to have more firearms laws. We need to have limited magazine capacities. We have to make it more difficult to get firearms. But then they come out and say also that illegals have Second Amendment rights. They're recruiting illegals to be police officers in a lot of places. They're wanting illegals to go into the military. And it's pretty much like they are immune from prosecution. It's like they have diplomatic immunity when they come across the border. They're treated like diplomats. They can rape, murder, steal, rob, or whatever, and pretty much deal with impunity and get by with it without any justice being served. It's going to keep getting worse and worse, in my opinion. And just common sense will tell you it's going to. But if you look at the liberal cities, liberal states, it's much worse there. But unfortunately, I think we're going to start seeing more in these rural areas like where I live out here. They may dump out, 500 or 1,000 overnight in a small town. It's happened before. And can you imagine what kind of turmoil it's going to cause in that town if you have 1,000 illegals dumped out from Guatemala somewhere, Venezuela, or wherever. Chinese is all dumped out in the street and just left. I mean, that would be devastating. And if you think that crime is bad now with citizens and non-citizens here in the United States right now, it's going to get much, much worse. If you take, and as the economy gets worse, and if Donald Trump gets elected, and they do cut all the assistance from these people, all the food stamps, welfare, the cell phones, the prepaid debit cards, the housing, that's all cut off from these tens of millions of illegals in the United States right now. These people are already violent. A lot of these people are anyway, as we can see by the stats I just read, and that's just what they know about. There's much, much more that we don't know about. When all their funding gets cut off, their prepaid debit cards get cut off, their cell phones get cut off, and they start being deported, if that's all happens, I mean, it's going to explode. The violence is going to explode. And we talk about that criminal gang from Venezuela. That's going to definitely be a rallying call to expand their membership, because other people are not members of the gang but want to join. They'll be ripe for the taking to join that gang to build the army up even stronger here in the United States. Definitely. Is it going to get any better anytime soon, in my opinion, with all these illegals? And the border's still wide open. We still have months before the election. Who knows how that's going to turn out? And even then, who knows if Trump's going to be able to close it up this time like he did. We had it pretty much closed up the last time from all my research of what I found. Illegal immigration was way down. It definitely wasn't what it is now. When Joe Biden took office, he pretty much said, "Search the border, come on, come out. We're wide open for everyone to come over here," and they have. So even if Trump does get elected, either way, it's going to be a horrendous mess just with these illegals over here right now. So always be alert. Always have situational awareness, and if you can, go armed at all times. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'm the Creekmore, I'm out here, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.